Hey everybody, welcome back. We are officially into week 6 of the class. Week 6 is going to be the last section that rounds out part 1 of the course. So up until this point, you've been working on one particular problem and solution that you've used to solve that problem. You did an interview with a customer. You prototyped and tested last week after you narrowed down a long brainstorming list. So you've been working consistently with one particular solution for a customer. Week 6 is where we'll finalize that solution, and then we go into part 2 of the class where we're going to do it all over again. I think a lot of you have learned a ton about the process for design thinking in part 1 of the class, so you may choose to do things a little bit differently in part 2. This is why we do this twice. Many of you have changed solution ideas, you've changed problem ideas, just because we're trying to get a sense for what we're doing. So moving forward, week 6 finishes up part 1 of the class. You'll see a lot of this information in part 2, plus we enhance it a little bit. So what we're doing this week is learning two things. The first is the value proposition, and the second is a tool called Lean Canvas. You'll need this video, the slides, and then some of the Lean Canvas resources that I have, including a whole video library that walks you through different aspects of that Lean Canvas tool. You have chapter 5 in the Ice House. Please continue doing a great job with that. And then you also have two parts of an assignment. One is a value proposition for the solution you've been working on, and the other is the Lean Canvas for that idea. So let's talk about what we mean when we say value proposition and Lean Canvas. An example of a value proposition is right here. This is for a device called Clocky, and the value proposition helps us understand what the solution is all about. It says, for adults who are considering normal alarm clocks but find themselves hitting snooze one too many times, our product rolls away to get you out of bed the first time. So looking at the image, you can't quite tell what this thing is all about. Reading the value proposition makes it really clear what is unique about this solution and what the benefit is to the customer. The value proposition follows a simple formula. We start with for, and then a description of your target customer, who are considering. Maybe they're looking at a different solution or something that just doesn't quite meet their needs. Maybe it's the thing they're trying to accomplish. But there's some problem, there's some issue that you've uncovered that's preventing them from achieving the results that they want. Last is you state our product accomplishes blank. What is it that your product or service is doing that they haven't been able to accomplish so far? So this is the formula for creating a value proposition. You can go ahead and test one out on your own. So you see these little blue silicone finger nubbins for somebody who's eating a cheesy type snack. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can come up with your own value proposition for this particular product. They're all going to be a little bit different, but you might come up with something like for snackers who are considering snacking while they do their homework, but have an issue keeping their fingers clean and having cheese dust spread all over their computer and their papers. Our product allows them to snack while keeping their fingers clean. Something like that. Yours is probably going to be very different, but you get the idea of the value proposition. So you'll create one for your solution that you've been working on. Then the next thing you're going to do is a Lean Canvas. This is going to take a little bit longer. I want you to do the value proposition first because you actually use it in the Lean Canvas. What is a Lean Canvas? It's essentially a scaled down business plan. It should be completed in one single page. It's somewhat visual with bullets and column organization. It helps you explain your business idea, how it makes money, and who will buy it. So when are you going to use this thing? You'll use it for this homework assignment. You'll use it for your final project. And I would expect if you start a business of your own one day, you would probably find the Lean Canvas to be very useful in explaining your concept to potential investors, partners, and even customers. In the slides, you'll see a link here. Click this link to be taken to the website that supports Lean Canvas to learn a little bit more about it. But this is what it looks like. Again, it's one page and you can write everything here in bullet form. We don't need complete sentences, but we do need clear, concise information. And it helps you deconstruct all the important aspects of a business idea. What we've done to this point is innovate. We've come up with an innovative idea that solves a problem for our customer in a new and unique way. That's the innovation part of the course. Now we've got to think about the entrepreneurship part of the course. How do we take that innovative idea and monetize it? That means how do we make some money from it in a way that is sustainable so that we can continue to provide the solution? Nonprofits are completely fine. We don't need to make millions of dollars on this, but we do need to have some sort of revenue stream that allows us to cover the costs. And you'll see that in the Lean Canvas. There are different recommendations on the order in which you should fill this in. Let's keep it simple and really just move left to right, and then we'll hit cost structure and revenue streams at the bottom. But in the top left, you're going to list the problem. This is what you defined after that empathy stage. What is the problem that your customer experiences? And what are existing alternatives that they might be using now? Then you're going to input your solution. So this comes directly from your prototyping and testing. What is it that your product or service does? How does it solve that problem? You'll take your unique value proposition that you already did as part of the first aspect of this week's work. So just copy and paste that right in to the Lean Canvas for the unique value proposition. Then you want to come up with an unfair advantage. What is it about you or your solution or your process that makes it better than others that are out there? Something unique, something that can't be copied. You'll identify your customer segments and early adopters. This is a marketing aspect of the assignment. Who is it that's going to use your particular product or service? Let me give you a hint. It's not everyone, or it's not anyone who wants this product or service. You want to come up with a few defining characteristics. For the Cheeto finger cover, for example, you might say, it's for college students, it's for snackers, it's for people ages 12 to 35, those sorts of things. It's for people trying to eat well, doing work, that type of example. The early adopters might be the very first people who would try this out. Maybe gamers. Gamers might try this out as they're trying to eat a snack, but they don't want to get their fingers gross. Then channels. How do you reach your customers? It might be web-based. It might be through search engines. It might be through social media and referrals. It might be word of mouth. How is it that you're going to reach your customers? Your high-level concept. This is a short analogy that might be kind of challenging to come up with. The example that you're given here is YouTube. It's like Flickr for videos. If you've ever seen Flickr, it's a great website that people can showcase their photography. You can use photography from that website if it's properly attributed, for free in your homework and your assignments and other programs. Sometimes you need to cite it in various ways. But it helps us put a new idea into the context of something we're already familiar with. Then you'll identify the key metrics. What are the numbers that you'll look at so that you know how the business is doing? You know that you're being successful. It might be instances of solving the customer's problem. It might be revenues. It might be dollars and number of sales. Speaking of revenue, the bottom right, we need to account for how this item, this product or this service is going to make some money. Ideally through sales, maybe if you have an app, maybe it's through ad revenues, but some way in which you're going to bring in money through the production of this good or this service. And then your cost structure. These are the expenses that you will have as the business owner, as the entrepreneur. Ideally, we want to have the revenue streams cover those cost structures in their entirety. That's essentially your assignment with the Lean Canvas. What you can do is take a practice. I think you're all familiar with the product, or the service Uber. And go ahead and do a practice Lean Canvas for Uber just to get a sense for how to do it. You can fill it in here, you can jot notes down, and then once you've done that, I have a video in the slides that goes through the Uber Lean Canvas to give you a sense for how well you did. So that's essentially it. I'm going to ask you to upload your value proposition and your Lean Canvas separately. You'll have chapter 5 for the Ice House, and reach out to me if you have any questions at all. Keep up the great work.